Hello, my wonderful intuitive art friends. This is Rachel Archelaus, and I'm so happy to be with you today. I just want to say, this was intended to be a beginner class where I was going to go through the color sheet with you and teach you the basic foundation of how to draw. And I actually changed my mind. I know this is very last minute, but what we're actually going to do instead is address this issue of overwhelm and the anxiety that a lot of people are dealing with at this point in time, and how that's going to get compounded as we go further into the holiday season. So, whether you participate in holidays or not, the energy is still going to build. So, I would suggest grabbing your paper and your drawing materials and follow along with me. We're going to do some drawing, but if you have not yet done the beginner stuff, if you've not yet filled out your color sheet or know how to decode, I will give you a resource to fill out that color sheet right after we're done so that you can then go back and decode your drawings. So I will be telling you how to draw and how to decode, but you won't be able to do it until right after we're done because I'm not going to go through the whole color meditation today. All right, but I will, of course, send you that resource right after we're done so you can take a look at your drawings. And I apologize for this. If you're watching me and you're hoping to get just the basics of how to do intuitive art today, because that is what I said I would do. But I feel like this need is much more pressing. I just got an email from a client this morning who's been very overwhelmed. I myself had a bit of a moment over the weekend where I felt overwhelmed, and I think our time would be better spent today going into that a little bit more deeply than spending half of the class doing the basic stuff when most of you probably already know it. And the remainder of you, I love you. Thank you so much for coming. I can catch you up in 15 minutes right after we're through. So please stick around. Please ask questions. Please let me know who you are. I'll be able to see that on the screen. And we'll have a great time. And I think you'll get a lot more out of this than if I were to just do the regular old thing. And I always listen to my intuition. So that's what we're going to do. Awesome. So please do introduce yourself if you're here on Crowdcast, if you're on YouTube, if you're later on the replay. Let me know in the comments, wherever they happen to be on your screen, depending on where you are. In fact, if you feel like you want to go download a beginner class right now, you can go do that at what's under my face right now, that rachelarchelaus.com. You'll see on the right-hand side a beginner intuitive art class that you can watch the whole thing of and get the whole scoop. Or I will email you with just the snippet of what you'll need to know after class. So let me introduce myself and kind of tell you why I'm switching it up here. So my name is Rachel Archelaus. I've been doing this method of intuitive art for over 20 years now, and it's something that just came to me. This isn't something I learned from another teacher. This is, if anything, it's something that my guides or my higher self has given to me in pieces over the last 20 years. So it's something I channeled, and it's really a way to have a communication, a conversation with the higher parts of you. So your higher self, your spirit guides, your connection to source. And it's all about getting answers from the level above your mind. We don't want to go to the mind to get answers to our problems because our mind is what's creating the filters. Our mind is creating the blind spots. Our mind is, harboring those limiting beliefs. And so if we look to grow by going to the mind, we're just not going to find what we're looking for. Our mind is what is making us think we have problems in the first place, right? Our mind is manufacturing the drama. It's manufacturing the sorrow. It's manufacturing all of these different things that we're trying to overcome, when really there's no problem, right? And so if we can go to the space above the mind, right, above the physicality, above the drama, above this layer of play and illusion, then we can really get the answers that will move us forward into where we're wanting to go. And it also goes back to not also seeking what's in other people's minds, because their minds are minds just as ours are, right? So we can go to experts, we can go to visionaries, we can go to thought leaders, but if we take their advice and it's not truly in harmony with us, if we're just doing it because they say that that's the thing, we're not going to get anywhere either. So we have to develop a trust in our own higher wisdom in order to really create the life that we're wanting to live. And that is about everything, right? The service that we want to provide, the impact that we want to make, the money we want to make in the world, the happiness and fulfillment we want to feel. None of that's going to come, or one piece at a time is going to come. That's it if we go outside of us. But we can have all of it, all of that multidimensional goodness if we will just learn to rely on our higher wisdom. And so that is what I'm teaching you with intuitive art. And those are the benefits that I feel in my life every day, and what my students feel when they practice. And I have taught thousands of people all over the world how to do this. And I see it create a stronger link for people, a stronger foundation. Because when you learn that you're safe, and when you learn that you have the answers, and when you can get out of that confusing, oh my God, what do I do now? What do I do next? Who am I? What's my purpose? What do I start with? When that leaves you, boy, is life interesting, because you learn what to follow, right? And it's even better than just following your intuition, because your intuition speaks in the body language, right? So we know sometimes we have that gut feeling of when to avoid something, right? So our friend asks us to a party, and we feel, oh gosh, no, that's not my scene, right? And we avoid a bad situation. We have the good feeling. So somebody asks us to a different party, we get all aflutter, right? And sometimes there's fear there. When there's a yes, there's sometimes fear, because that excitement and fear are actually the same feeling. And we go and we meet our soulmate, right? Or something akin to that. Our intuition is an amazing resource, but what happens is that often people will not listen to their intuition because it's too vague. So the bad feeling doesn't come with a description of why it's bad. So we ignore it and we go, right? Or the good feeling doesn't come with a description of what we're going to see when we get there. And so we ignore it and we stay home, right? And then we wonder why our lives keep going down the same kind of path, right? Going autopilot, nothing really changing. It's because we're not taking control. We're not listening to the clues. And so with intuitive art, you can gather the description of what you're going to learn or what you're going to avoid. And it makes it easier for your mind to play along. So I'm not trying to say the mind is bad. I'm just trying to say we need to know what the mind's strengths are and what its weaknesses are. And we need to work with it. So when we're trying to get answers, we're not going to go here. But in order to live our lives, right, and to do and follow up with the things that we know are good for us, but maybe scary or illogical, using intuitive art can help to get your mind on board so that you'll follow through. Make sense? All right. So what we're going to talk about today is overwhelm. And overwhelm can come in many different shapes, sizes, and forms. It can be brought on by many things. Like I mentioned, people don't know what to do, right? Maybe you have a goal of making more money, or of having more impact in the world, but you don't know what to do. Well, that creates an overwhelm, that creates an anxiety. And what happens is there can be a buildup of energy that is getting expressed as anxiety and overwhelm because you're not moving it. Energy needs to be moved, right? So that's why we feel so good after we exercise, because we're moving, our bodies are moving that energy. That's why we feel so good often when we're really busy. It feels good to be busy, it feels good to be moving. When you are sitting at home all day on your day off, say you spend all day on the couch, we don't feel very good, right? We think we will, but we're often more tired, right? We get some anxiety. We're kind of left to our own devices, and it doesn't normally feel very good because we're stopping the movement. The busiest people in the world, people who are working all the time and traveling and having fun and going on vacations and holidays, often are the most impactful, have the most financial resources, are the most fulfilled because they are constantly living in the energy of themselves. They're moving all of that. And so I'm not saying that you need to get busier, but what I'm saying is that we as a people, we're kind of growing our capacity. And in this moment right now, I've been noticing that we've all been given an upgrade. We all can do more. We have a greater capacity to run energy through us and out of us. So all of you here who are compassionate, amazing, wonderful people, who care about things in the world, now is a time when we actually have the energy and the resources to do more with that. And if you don't know what to do, or if you don't know how to do it, that's going to feel like anxiety. And I'll give you a personal example. So if you're watching, just give me a heads up that you know what I'm talking about here, all right? And I'll give you my personal story. So basically, I care, right? I care a lot about a lot of different things. Animals, elephants, the tigers, all of them. I care about people, about the refugee crisis that's happening right now, about the election, about everything, right? I just care. I don't listen to the news. I read selectively, so I'm not really in the drama all the time. I'm not really affected by the hype and by 7 people got killed, blah, blah, blah. And I don't go into that, right? I see what I need to see and I look up what I need to look up. So I'm normally not so emotionally affected by all that stuff. But lately, I have been feeling a little bit drawn into that, right? And another thing about me is that I really feel that everything is happening for a reason and that everything on the grand scheme of things is perfect. So I believe that on earth, we're all here, we're all souls, we're all energy. And when people die, they just transition. So we don't really have an effect here, right? When I die, I'm not really dead. I could come back, I could be something else for a while. We're just transforming. So I don't often even get into the earth drama when bad things are happening and I am involved in it, right? I'm not often triggered in that way. I see what's playing out as just a reflection of what we're all thinking and believing on the inside. So I take this higher spiritual perspective and I still give, I still donate, I still volunteer, I still am very active in the world and making it a better place. But I tend to avoid the drama. But again, this weekend, I felt like, okay, there was a little bit of a wake-up call. Like, there's a lot going on right now. Every area of the earth. Animals are disappearing, may become extinct in our lifetime. So many people need help right now. Over 4 million Syrian refugees are out there needing help and attention. And our governor in Arizona doesn't want to let them in. And whatever you feel about that is fine. But it just woke me up a bit about how I live in this first world country. I've got food and shelter, and I think pretty much everyone who lives in this country um, and would be watching this does, right? Even if you don't know how to pay your cable bill next month, you probably can eat tonight. And so it just made me wake up to the fact that there's so much tragedy going on, and I have the capacity to help in a big way. And it really hit me really hard emotionally. Like, okay, time to do something, time to get into action. And I started feeling sorrow, and I started feeling guilty, and I started feeling all of these emotions that don't normally come up for me. And so what came into my mind was, okay, I've got to get into action. I've got to go and be uncomfortable and live with people and go and travel and help and insert myself into the mess, right? And when I came down from that is when I kind of got into my sweet spot of the truth of what I'm really feeling. So the drama came, the emotion came, the mind had those ideas of, okay, since you're feeling guilty, since you're feeling like you can help, go devote your entire life to help. But then when I came down and I got back to me, the real me, the expanded me, the truth of me, I realized that no, and this is for you too, you don't need to go and put all of your life on hold and just do that thing. You need to be you more than ever. We are all here with a gift. We're all here with something to share. And by you cultivating that special thing inside of you, that is how you help. Right? You may be called to work with children. You may be called to be a janitor. You may be called to share intuitive art. You may be called to work with people who are suffering from addiction. You may be called to just share your story. You may be called to be a coach. You may be called to whatever, help with GMO education, whatever it is for you, even if it doesn't seem to be of service. Right now, to get out of that anxiety, to get out of the drama, to really be of service, you need to focus on bringing out what you're feeling called to bring out, what your gift is. And it's time to get rid of the self-doubt. It's time to get rid of that, I don't know how to do it. There's nothing special about me. That is not serving anyone except the anxiety that's in you, except for the sorrow, except for the feeling of hopelessness. That approach of, I don't know what to do, I don't know who I am, that, if you're feeling overwhelmed, will continue to make it worse. The way out here is to be yourself, to be a bigger version of you, to be more grounded, to be who you really are. And if you're feeling anxiety, it just means that who you are has been stopped up a bit. So for me, because I felt all that, I went through that wave of sorrow and anxiety and guilt and fear. That just means that I had a little plug of who I was being and how much I was allowing myself to be, that I need to pop out so that energy can flow, so that I can get on with sharing and being me more. And that's really what we're being asked to do right now, and why those feelings of fear and overwhelm and guilt can come in. So if you're listening to this and that makes sense to you, awesome. I want to do a drawing. So in this drawing, what we're going to ask is, what do I need to be more of right now to get out of the overwhelm? And then we'll talk about holidays after that, okay? So the first drawing, what do I need to be more of? Or what do I need to allow more of? This might be a better word. To get out of the overwhelm, okay? So we're going to do that drawing, and then I'm going to come back and I'll decode mine for you, and you can decode along with your own drawing, okay? And again, if you don't have your color sheet yet, that's okay. I'll give you a resource right after the class for you to fill that out. Right. I will be right back. All right, so I'm done with my drawing. And if you're not, that's okay. Just hit pause and then come back in when you're ready. This is what I drew. Yours may look different. It may not be the complete page. That's okay. And what I'm going to do, which I suggest you do, is go and look at your paper. And if you have your color sheet, I want you to write down what each color means right on your paper. So for example, my pink, this color pink means wealth. So I'm going to write wealth, maybe a couple times where the pink shows up. The brown for me means grounding. So I'm going to write grounding right next to it, and just so on. So for every color that I have, I'm going to write on my paper what the color means so that when I look at the paper, it makes better sense to me. Okay, so you go do that on yours. I will do that on mine, and I'll come right back. All right, so welcome back. If you still need more time, just press pause and fill in what your colors mean. And I just want to decode mine for you because you'll get to see how allowing or being more of this thing, whatever it is for you, will help you stay out of overwhelm and help more, be of service more. So not going into that overreactive action mode is actually allowing you to be more impactful, to be more of service. So once you get back into yourself, right, then you can figure out what is best for you to do. But going off the deep end, giving away all your money, moving to Africa, that's not really going to be the best service that you can give. So that's really, we're finding out here what to allow more of, what to be more of to get out of overwhelm. But again, this is also going to help you be of most service. So we're always getting multi-dimensional benefits when we're using intuitive art to answer our question and when we're going into our truth for guidance. Always going to get multi-dimensional results, meaning it's going to help more than one area. Okay? So here we go. For mine, we're going to go with this area first to decode. So this brown here means grounding. This kind of light tan color, you can see it there, means contentment. So grounding and contentment, those are not holy cow, get into action colors. Those are calming colors, right? It's like you need some meditation, you need some yoga, you need some exercise, you need something to keep you tethered to the earth. That is what it's telling me here. It's saying calm down, go back to center, and start from there. Be content. Don't be in sorrow and guilt mode. That's not going to help you. So this is saying be content. Remember gratitude, right? Do your daily routine, like be present, be happy. That's what it's saying. So be grounded and be content. That's my base. And then if we move to the blue, which is very much covering the same area, the blue means lightness for me. It means like light healing, right? So lighten up for me. Don't get bogged down with those heavy emotions. No, they're there. Like, yes, they can be triggered. They're there. But the way out of them, the way to help them, the way to alleviate that is to remember everything is perfect. No matter how bad things look, the truth is that those souls are okay. The truth is that those souls of those animals are okay. Everything's really okay. So to get caught up in the physical drama is not going to help anybody because they're really okay. To really, really help, I need to get back to my highest level, to my highest understanding, to my highest action. That's what's really going to help. So all of this, be light, be grounded, be content, right? It's saying keep yourself together, girl. Like keep it together. It's okay. It's kind of like that little pat on the shoulder, like everything's fine, right? It's already helping. It's already making me feel better. If we expand out a little bit, this pink for me means wealth. So how can I, the question was, what do I need to allow more of, right? To really help? Well, wealth would help. With wealth, I can give more, right? So I already give, but I don't give to the level that I would ultimately love to give because I don't have all that wealth and love to give. So obviously allowing more wealth would help me stay out of overwhelm and be able to contribute more financially. And you may be thinking like, that's great. I would have loved to allow more wealth too. How do I do that? Well, the first step to really allowing more wealth to have something to do good with is to go inside and learn how to communicate with your higher self. because your higher self will tell you. Your mind will not be able to tell you. Your mind is what is thinking that you don't have enough right now. Your mind is thinking that it's too hard. Well, it's really not too hard. It's just that you probably have some limiting beliefs there. So hook up with your higher self, and your higher self will tell you how to allow more wealth. That's what I'm going to do after this, probably draw, okay, how do I allow more? Maybe EFT. It may be joining a new course. It may be learning something else in my business that I'm overlooking. There's many, many opportunities for me to learn how to allow more wealth. Okay, and so right inside that pink here is truth. And I want to say that around the border of this entire drawing is that wealth color, and it happens to be overlapped with white, which is my truth color. So there's obviously a big message here that's saying it's kind of time for me to allow more wealth in. And, you know, I've had my business for a while. I've been making good money, but I have also been feeling like, all right, I need to go pro even more. I need to show up even more. And like I said in the beginning of this, we all really did get an upgrade where we have more capacity. And so I think this is just tying in with that. Like, I'm ready to give more, so I'm ready to receive more. And then with that receiving more, I'll be able to give more. So it's really just anchoring in what I've already been feeling and thinking. And so it's saying that the truth, of course, is the wealth, the truth. So it's not even that I'm being greedy. It's not that I'm thinking I need to make more or that I don't have enough, because those thoughts will keep you from having more. It's that the truth is that this is ready for me, which is great. So that's good to know. And of course, that helps me with my overwhelm. This color here is thought and strategy. So my orange means it's like a very mental color. It's when you're thinking, it's when you're strategizing. And of course, your colors are going to be different. But for me, this is saying, you know, be content, be light, be grounded, allow for more wealth, because that's your truth right now. And then allow the thoughts to come that will lead me there. So again, all this is just about allowing. I'm not doing anything. I'm just allowing. And I may need to learn some things in order to allow more, but maybe not. Maybe I just need to say, okay, self, I'm ready to allow this. I'm in. I'm on board. Sign me up. And that's as easy as it needs to be. So this is how I can stay out of overwhelm. And I would really love to know what yours is. So if you have any comments about that, put it in the comments wherever you are, whether you're on YouTube or Google Plus or Crowdcast or my own website. Leave me a comment. Let me know what your drawing said to you. So basically, it's telling me to chill out, right? Chill out and just be yourself and allow yourself to generate more so that you can give more. That's a great advice, right? And it's a lot different from just like jumping on a plane and going and helping somewhere else, or being uncomfortable and doing stuff like that. You know, I thought about that, like, okay, I can go to these volunteering websites and sign up to do mailers and answer phones, but is that really the best use of my time? No, it's not. It's really about cultivating my own thing, my own capacity to help, and doing that, because no one can do it like me. Same is true for you. If you feel called to volunteer at a place, do it. But ask yourself, what can I do to really cultivate myself? How can I nurture the thing that is the thing that only I can do in my way? How can I do that better? How can I do that more? So that is definitely something to ask yourself, and follow your drawing so that you can get out of overwhelm. So the second thing I want to talk about is, of course, the holidays, which is why you're here. And we all know that going into the holiday season, of course, whether you're really getting into it or not, whether you're staying with family or not, the energy is crazy. I'm going to sneeze. Ew. The energy is nuts. So whether you go to the mall or you're just stuck in traffic because of it, it's all the same. And really what you need to do there is protect your own boundaries. So we get flustered. We also get overwhelmed. We get angry when our boundaries are being crossed. And so if you find yourself resentful of family or of the holidays or anything like that, you get bitchy, you get stressed out, ask yourself, what boundaries am I allowing to be crossed to make me feel that way? It's never anyone else's fault. It's always our own doing. So if you're getting that way, if you're getting stressed and frazzled, evaluate your boundaries and say, I'm feeling resentful of this family member because they always expect me to bring 12 dozen cookies, right? Well, instead of being resentful that that family member wants you to bring 12 dozen cookies or you have to do it because they won't, reevaluate the whole thing. What are you willing to bring? What are you willing to make? Right? What would you be excited to do if you needed to change that arrangement? You get to redefine things and decide how you're going to deal with stuff. So for example, with me, I am a total alone time needer. I need a lot of time by myself, a lot of silence. I love silence. And so normally I work from home and I've got the whole day to myself, right? And so I've got all that time, but I'm going to be traveling for 2 whole weeks in the holidays, and we were going to stay with family, and some of that family would be home. And so I wouldn't really get that chance to unwind. I wouldn't really get the chance to be in my own space and hear that silence. And so what I did is for the first week, I rented a house. I'd be all alone, could do my work in silence. I could have people over, and it would be my boundary, right? That's what I needed for myself. And so I did it. And it worked out perfectly, obviously, for work. So even if you can't go and rent a house because you don't want to stay with family, see what you can do, right? Look around. If you need your own alone time, maybe you can rent a car so that you can go drive to a park whenever you feel like you need to get out and have yourself some time. Maybe you can just search the neighborhood and see what's there, where you can walk to if you need to unwind or get out of that place. So evaluate your boundaries and see what you need to put in place to keep yourself in the best possible state. Because being a martyr is not helping anyone. It's not helping you. It's not helping them. And it's just not good for anybody. So there's nothing, you're not going to get a reward for being resentful. You're not going to get a reward for giving up the most, right? We're not in that time. We don't need to do that anymore. So figure out what it is you do need for yourself around the holidays. And maybe it's more sleep because the energy is going to get heightened. Maybe it's, maybe you don't want a certain kind of gift because you've gone all organic or you've gone whatever. Tell people. Don't be afraid to speak up. So I want to do another drawing now about specifically around the holidays and how to protect your boundaries in the holidays. So grab your paper and your stuff again. My chalks. I like these. These are called Prismacolor New Pastels. And they're very easy to blend, which is very nice. If you use oil pastels, sometimes when you're blending, they just, it can hurt your hands a little bit. And when I was I went to an art high school, and when we would do oil pastels, I used to have to tape up my hands because I'd be blending so much, and it was not pretty. So, all right. So, I would say let's do this drawing about holiday boundaries, and we can ask, what are the healthy boundaries I can put in place to keep myself in the best state during the holidays. So, what are the boundaries I can put in place to keep myself in the best state during the holidays? And then we'll draw and I'll come right back. All right, so you still may be drawing. That's okay. If you are, just press pause and unpause me when you're done. I just want to remind you that when you're done with your drawing, what you'll want to do is look and see, okay, my pink means blah, blah. You're going to write that down. So look at whatever colors you have on your paper and then write down the keywords right next to that color. That'll help you decode. So do that and I'll be right back. All right, here we are. Again, if you need more time, just press pause. So this is my boundary for the holidays drawing, and it's actually quite interesting. So this line here is contentment. That was in my other drawing as well. This pink is wealth, and this gray is like spirit or intuition, right? Those communications I get from my higher self. So basically, it's just saying, watch your money, watch your contentment level, right? Like I just said before, I need a lot of time alone. And so one of the boundaries that I set was that I rented a house, right? So this is saying, watch what you need, have what you need, give yourself what you need, and watch what you're spending. It's so funny. There's like spenders and savers. Well, I'm definitely a spender. I love giving gifts. And so I normally just give to whatever capacity I can. And sometimes I overdo it, not in a good grounded way, but just kind of in a, I think I like to buy things way. So it's just saying, be mindful of what you're giving, right? What you're spending. You don't need to spend more. That doesn't equal more love. So that's just what this is saying. And it's just saying, follow your intuition, right? Like stay plugged in. Don't get to a place where I'm so tired or so stress that I don't know what I need in the moment. This is saying my intuition will tell me what I need to be content and to be keep my finances in order. So this is perfect. It also goes with my other drawing where it says, be light, be grounded, be content. So as long as I stay grounded and plugged in, I will know what to create as boundaries and what to do with my family while I'm traveling and so on. So this is good advice. It's simple, of course, but often the simple advice is the best advice. So we're about 48 minutes in here, and I really hope that this has helped you understand maybe why you're feeling overwhelmed or anxious, as I know some of you are, what to do about it, how to communicate with your higher self so that you know what boundaries you need, so that you know how to help, so that you know how to get out of overwhelm. And I also kind of want to make this offer out to you that if you think you want to help other people with intuitive art, using intuitive art, helping them connect with their higher self, helping them navigate world tragedies and holidays by connecting with their higher self and their wisdom, then I'd love to talk to you. We have a new session starting in January, and it's a 5-month course that helps you become a certified intuitive artist. It teaches you how to work with other people, how to really master this. And I'd love to talk to you. I just want to say though, it also helps you create revenue. So I also teach you the business side, which I know a lot of certifications don't. So it's a very special program with very happy graduates who are making money, working with people, teaching classes, and I'd love to talk to you about it. So if you want to book a session with me just to speak, it's totally free. Go to the link above this video on Crowdcast, and you'll see that. It's I think it says chat with me. Just click on that link under there and find a time that works for you. If you're on YouTube or my website or anywhere else and you don't have that link available, just go to intuitiveartacademy.com/me. So intuitiveartacademy.com/me, me. And we'll talk. So I want to thank you guys for being here. And I want to know how you're dealing with overwhelm. So as the weeks go on, email me, copy me on something, find me on Facebook, and let me know, has intuitive art helped you with overwhelm? And I hope you all have a super, super happy holiday season, whether you're participating or not. And I hope that you do cultivate that communication between you and your higher self so that you can really understand who you are, what you've got to give, why you're here, so that you can feel financially fulfilled, spiritually, emotionally, physically, and all of that, because it's definitely a great way to live. And again, if you need that color sheet, if you need to, fill out what your colors mean so you can decode your drawings, I will send you a link right after the class. Okay, everybody, lots of love from me, and I'll talk to you all soon. Bye.